Higher Education Minister Blade Nzimande announced on Tuesday that it is all systems go for the 2024 higher education year, but key problems have already popped up, with angry and frustrated students complaining about being removed from courses they had been accepted for. UJ says it simply has no space to accommodate the large number of applications. Student leaders are concerned this will lead to further turmoil in fighting during the registration period. For more on this, let's now speak to SABC News reporter Nozintombi. Miya. Nozintombi, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. What are you hearing from the students as well as the various higher learning institutions about these concerns that have been raised?
Yeah, thank you so much, Aldrin. Where we're standing right now, we're standing at the UJ main campus on Kingsway. And you know, one of the big issues with UJ is that they only have capacity for about 10,500 students. But the influx of applications that they're receiving and the high quality of results they're receiving from the matriculant class just of 2023 has been exceptionally high, and it's been very difficult for them to try and grapple with the issue of how do they satisfy the need of being able to fill the courses that need to be filled, with the spaces and the quality of candidates that need to be in those courses versus the available space. There's simply too many students applying for these courses and they just don't have sufficient space for it, Aldrin. And to talk to me a little bit more about this, I've got with me the UJ Registrar, Ms. Bettine Van Vieren. Thank you so much for joining me. The issue of registration, again, we do this every year and it becomes a problem every year. What's been the situation for UJ so far with the registrations?
Thank you very much for the opportunity and welcome to UJ. We have received, as we do in most of the years, we've received about 600,000 applications for 10,500 spaces. So there is a huge demand for students applying for all of the qualifications and programs across UJ. And it's a huge number, and you know what it actually means is that there's a large number of students that unfortunately just won't get in. But what we've done so we've basically followed a two-prong approach. The first one is that we've invested very heavily in technology to assist us and the students, or the applicants, of course, that apply to make the most of this application, basically. And then the second thing that we've done also is that we offer a large number of what we call continuous education programs, or CEPs, or SLP, short learning programs. Yeah. And these are not constrained by the Department of Higher Education and Training Enrollment Plan. So outside of the 10,500 students that we can actually enroll in our formal programs, we have a large offering where we can direct students to for these offline, not offline, they're still formal qualifications, they're just not within this formal program.
Yeah, but so many things that you said in that first part. Let's unpack that. The first part. More than 600,000 applications. Firstly, I mean, that's great. That shows that UJ is one of those universities that's highly regarded. What qualifications have you received the most applications for? Which sectors?
So these are quite often spread across the diverse range of our faculties. Our Faculty of Humanities receive a large number of applications, and that's because, you know, we're really considering the future, you know, world of work. So in our Faculty of Humanities, we've got a very generic BA qualification where you can actually enroll for hardcore BA subjects linked to subjects in other faculties. So you can, you know, combine physiology, which is in the Faculty of Science, with psychology, which is in humanities. So you can build these qualifications which are a little bit out of the box for the future world of work. There are some of our programs which are very, very popular. Our actuarial sciences, our optometry. You know, when we receive these applications, we basically rank them by their APS score.
What is just explain the APS score. What does that mean? Because it leads to the question of how do you reject the candidates? So what is the AP score and how does that work?
Yeah. So this is basically based on your matric results, where for an A you would get a number, you know, a number, a B, a C, and we add that up. So it's basically your overall performance, and the admittance to any of the UJ programs are based solely on academic merit. Nothing else is being considered. So when we receive all of these applications, we rank the students based on their academic merit, on how well they've actually performed.
You give them a permanent or a provisional acceptance letter. How does that work?
Yeah. So when students apply, remember they apply, our applications open April and they close end of October. By that time, they haven't written the final matric exams yet. So based on their standard, I'm now giving away my age, their grade 11 marks, I almost said standard 9.
I did standard as well, so it's okay.
So based on their grade 11 marks, we say, okay, you meet the entry requirements for a specific program. You are provisionally accepted for that program based on the outcome of your final marks.
Yeah.
And based on the outcome of those final marks and where you then lie in that ranking, we then admit. So when we start to admit students into these qualifications, we start from the top, from our best students down. And if a program such as optometry has about 40 or so spaces available, the top 40 students come in. And the rest don't. Doesn't matter if there's 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 applications for optometry. So it's based solely on academic merit. But as I've said, what we then do with those students that didn't come in, for those qualifications is we will look at where else can we place you. And our faculty of CBE, our commerce faculty, is very good with that because they've got a lot of these applications, so
the provisional one.
Exactly.
But we spoke off air a little bit about the case study that we spoke about, a young girl who applied and provisionally got accepted into the accounting department, and now was told that there wasn't sufficient space. So in that case, which is a real case, what then happens for this young girl? What options are available for her to go and get some sort of assistance in that matter?
Yeah. So from our side, what we would then do is we would look and see what qualifications are open that we can offer to her, and we will then make that decision and say we can't accept you for program A, but we've got a space in program B. What we also have at the moment is we've got our Mobi late inquiry system, which is open until this evening, where we list a lot of qualifications where we think that there might be space. So please, people, if you've applied to UJ and you are not, fully admitted or so, please go and visit our Mobi site. We do get about 10,000 or so hits per hour on the site, but where we try and match you then with available qualifications that are still open. So please do that.
Bettine, what you've said is so important because it shows that it's not actually the end of the road for these kids if they don't get accepted into a specific qualification, even if their provisional acceptance was not a final acceptance. You're using technology as well to assist these kids. You spoke about the two-prong. One of the prong was technology. How else, aside from them using the Mobi site, how else can they be assisted with the technology, world-class technology that UJ has?
I'm so glad that you've asked this. So what we're piloting this year for the first time is facial recognition. So when people are admitted, they actually get an SMS from us to say, we just need to verify that you are who you are. So take a selfie. We all do this 100 times per day, right? And I know the youngsters are very good at this. So you click on the link. This is a personal link. A personal links to you only. So you click on it. You simply take a selfie, smile for the camera, and we verify that against the Home Affairs database. For this year, what we're doing is we're running it as a pilot for our first-time entering students in parallel with having to submit a certified copy of your identification documents and so. But next year, what we hope to do is to move away from students or applicants, students because they've been admitted, to having to go and make a copy of their ID, then have to try and find a police station to verify it, then scan it, email it to us. So by simply taking that selfie next year, you won't need to send in those documents because we would have verified you. So doing all of these things, we try and make it as good as possible, the optimal experience for our students. What we've also done from application, once you graduate and you qualify, we actually give you a certificate which is blockchain secured. You can verify it. We've unfortunately seen over the years that a large number of people are not always honest about their qualifications. So a prospective employer or just can scan the code and they verify.
And they can check and see that it's verified. Bettine, just to give a quick wrap, one of the other big issues, NSFAS and funding. How are you going to deal with it this year? We know that the matric results were released late this year, and that's had a knock-on effect on how universities such as yourselves are dealing with NSFAS. How are you going to try and circumvent us having a future problem of fees specifically for UJ?
So what the university has done is we have received, we're always waiting to receive the names from NSFAS, but by the time, and this is a real problem, by the time that the NSFAS students have received confirmation and we've unblocked them for registration, a lot of these programs are full with cash-paying students. It's heartbreaking. What we do is, as a university and as an MEC, with advice from the team and the finance team, is we sit and we look at these students. We look at which of these students can we take a calculated risk and block them early so that they can register, with a good chance that they will actually get NSFAS. So,
thank you. Thank you so much, Patim. We're going to leave it there. We have run out of time. So just to do a quick wrap on that, Eldrin, very important information. UJ only has space for the formal qualifications, about 10,500, but they've received a massive influx of over 600,000 applicants. And they're doing what they can to try and place the applicants where they can. And importantly, what she's just spoken now around the issue of NSFAS, trying to block the students so that they have access. So even though the NSFAS process is a slow process, those kids can have their spaces secured in the university so that when NSFAS and the NSFAS fees are finally released, those kids would not have then been unnecessarily negatively impacted. Very important that we're discussing this now, the issue of registration, Eldrin, because it is always the tinder that sparks the issue around fees. Aldrin.